Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Jolly Good News Report for this beautiful day, Saturday, May the 9th. Hope you're ready for a great good news report. I got a good news report for you today. I hope you're ready for it. Are you ready? All right now. Well, you know I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon me, can't refuse it. I didn't seek it. I didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer. If I lose it, give account. If I abuse it, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. Welcome, 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 welcome. And I hope you're ready for a good day. Hope you're ready for the start of the rest of the great weekend and leading into a great week. So every week I start with a story or lesson or message from one of my books. Then I want to talk to you from one of my books. Some good news. There's some good news that it is possible. This is a good news story about my friend Wallys Famous Amos. Wally Famous Amos, the famous cookie man, shared with me that far too many people concentrate on the minors in life and don't focus on the majors in life. They major in the minors and minor in the majors. He tells how he had to learn how to be positive and have good news in the midst of all sorts of challenges. Everybody knows about Famous Amos cookies, but he had a setback. He started the cookie company while he was an agent for William Morris Agency. He was booking groups like the Temptations and the Four Tops and the Supremes back in the 1960s. And as a way to influence the promoters, he would bake cookies that he had been taught by his Aunt Della. Aunt Della taught him how to cook and bake these cookies when he was a little boy, and he would always make it for his friends, and people would come to his home and they'd have parties, and everybody loved his cookies. Well, he would make some and then go to the promoter and say, I want to book my act into your venue, and he'd give them some cookies. They say, keep bringing me them cookies, I'm gonna keep booking your acts. And then he started sharing them with his friends in the office, and before long people were calling saying, can you make me a set of those cookies? And then one day he started saying, well, maybe I can start this little cookie company. He started a little cookie company, and it grew. And then he opened up in Los Angeles, California, on Ventura Boulevard, Famous Amos Cookies. Well, it became a hit. And then investors came along who said, I want to be part of this. This is going to be a big deal. And he built this cookie company. But after he built it, he did a deal where he sold the rights to the company to one of the investment companies. Well, they did fine. He was doing fine. They were doing fine. Everybody was making money. But then that investment company made enough money that they could sell it to a bigger company. And that went fine for a while. But then that next company sold it to an even bigger conglomerate who said to Wally, we don't need you anymore. This is a big brand by itself. We'll take your picture off the cover and we'll still sell Famous Amos. And because you sold your name with the company, you can't use your name Famous Amos Cookies with any other cookie company. But Wally said something I love. He said, God is not a one-idea God. I decided to not major in the minors, but I minored in the majors, and I made it happen. He said that in time, Wally was able to reclaim his name and get paid from the company. So it is exciting about what's possible when you have faith and believe that all things are possible. Wally Famous Amos, great story. My good friend, my buddy, I love him. And I got to give you one more story about Wally. We talk every July the 1st is his birthday. And some years ago, he was here in Washington for his birthday, and we had a big party. I put together a celebration and an event, and people came, and it was wonderful. We celebrated his 75th birthday. And the U.S. Congress made it Walley famous Amos Day. And we were invited to the west steps of the Capitol for the 4th of July festivities, and we were able to watch it with the Congress people and the senators. It was phenomenal. Well, every year I call Wally on his birthday. So on his 80th birthday, I knew it had been 5 years since the last birthday. I made a point to call and said, Wally, today is your 80th, isn't it? And he answered the phone, and it was about 3 o'clock because he lives in Hawaii. So I could get him, it's 6 hours different. I didn't want to wake him up too early. So I called around 3 o'clock my time, and that meant it would have been 9 a.m. Hawaii time. And I said, Wally, happy birthday. I know you're up. He said, yeah, man, I'm up. You know I'm up, Willie. Thank you. Thank you. I said, so what are you doing on your birthday? He said, well, right now I'm in Costco. I said, you're in Costco? What are you buying in Costco? Buying? I'm not buying anything. I'm selling cookies. He said, look, I am grateful and I'm living life to the fullest. I plan to live a long time, but I plan to die young at an old age. I still get that youthful enthusiasm, Willie. I am grateful. Folks, this is a time to be grateful. So let me tell you something we're going to do today. I do this every day with my team, my staff. I decided to do this with you today to give you a taste of what we do with the team every day. Tell me how you like it. Send me a note. Send me some chat. By the way, start a watch party right now. I want you to start a watch party right now, so everybody who is in your network can be part of our network and watch this Jolly Good News Report, and then give the little love, share, hit all the little faces and the smiley faces. Let's let lots of people know there is some good news. Oh yeah, there's some good news. Let me tell you the latest good news for this week. Every week I give you the good news of the statistics. So every week it has been changing, and I'm so excited about it. When we started this, we were getting about 10,000 people per day who were recovering. Now, if you go to the regular news, they tell you how many people got infected and how many people died. That's not happening here. That's not going to happen here. We don't talk about that. We talk about the good news. Good news is how many people recovered. Well, initially, when we started this 8 weeks ago, we were getting about 10,000 people per day who are recovering globally. I want to let you know the numbers have increased, and now the total for people recovered as of today is 1,450,000 people are home with their families. And on an average, we've got, let's see, what was the number we've got over 40,000 people per day now are recovering. Good news. Good news. I got good news for you. Okay, let's do my chant. Everybody, here's what I want you to do. And what I ask you to do is going to sound a little strange, but it works. I do a chant with my team, and we do it every morning. And so I want you to know, if you like this, I'll start doing it here on Saturday mornings with you as we celebrate your Jolly Good News Report. But it's a chant. But you got to stand up. You got to get involved. You got to get physically active in this to make this work. So here we go. Everybody, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I want you to repeat after me. All right? Here we go. Here we go. I'm healthy. I'm wealthy. I'm happy. I am whole. I feel terrific. I feel terrific. I am blessed and highly favored. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. And I pray, send wealth my way today. Now let's say with power and conviction. Everybody repeat after me. Say, I'm healthy. I'm grateful because I'm healthy. From the top of my head to the bottom of my feet, I am healthy. I am wealthy. I am happy. I am whole. I feel terrific. I feel terrific. I am blessed and highly favored. This is the day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice. I'm going to rejoice. I got to rejoice and be glad in it. And I pray, declare, decree, believe prosperity is coming my way today. Wealth is on the way today, and I'm going to do all I can to make it come this way. Amen. Amen. And amen. All right, how y'all like that? Then let me know how you like that little chant we do. I do it every day with our team, and we do it by Zoom because our team is all over the place, and we do it every day. So let me know how you like that. Give me some love on that. All right. Next on our list of what we do every week, after we have had our little story from one of my books, and after I've given you statistical analysis, then I want to do a review of some of the shows for those who might be catching up. You know, you don't have to watch them all on one weekend or on Netflix. You just watch it here, and I'm going to give you the quick and dirty, fast review of where we are and how we're doing and how our numbers are looking. So let's see where we are and how we're doing and what we've done thus far. The first week, which was 8 weeks ago, we did Viktor Frankl, who said they can take everything from you after he had lost his wife, his parents, his business. The Nazis had taken him out of his home. He was a neurologist in Austria. He had lost everything. They said, but there's one final freedom that no one can take from you: your ability and your decision and your choice to choose your attitude. And he said, I choose to be grateful that I'm still here. Come on, somebody. That wonderful choice. The second week, we talked about the mindset, how critically important it is to create a mindset for coming back from anything, whether it's illness. And I told the story about the mindset for coming back from cancer and how my friend Lamar McLean said that cancer is like you're thrown in an arena in the times of the Romans, and you're like a gladiator. And it's you and one other contestant, and it's a fight to the death. He said, you and cancer are fighting to the death. One has to die. And he said, as he was diagnosed with cancer, he said, cancer, you got to die because I'm not dying. And I was so excited. I told you last week that his report, his scans came back positive. He's great. He came back negative. I mean, he a positive report, but he came back a negative scan. Nothing showed, no cancer, and a positive report. So that was mindset. And then the third week, we talked about Joseph, who was in the pit when his brothers threw him in the pit, and went from the pit to Potiphar's house, where he was falsely accused and ended up in prison. But because of his level of excellence, his spirit of excellence, he went from the prison to Pharaoh's palace, and it was there that he became number 2 in Egypt, and told Pharaoh a plan to take meal and part of the proceeds during the good time, prepared for the bad times, because they were coming. There was a famine coming. There was a crisis coming. Just what we've got to learn through that. And as a result of his planning, taking a percentage of everything he had, he was able to create a stash of food for Egypt and the surrounding countries, benefited, including his family back at the home place, even the brothers who threw him in the pit. And he let them go. He said, but what others meant for bad, God meant for good. Love that story. Okay, then the next week we talked about during tough times, you must not panic, stay calm, and you must pivot. Don't panic, pivot. And so I told you about my daughter and how she had started cooking as part of her now way to create income. She's cooking meals for people. She's a cosmetologist, has a salon. But while people aren't getting their hair done in North Carolina, she is a great cook. I mean, really, really good cook. So she's cooking big quantities of food, boxing it up, putting it on Facebook. I've got meals, people are ordering, they're paying Cash App on a phone, they're delivering them, say your food is at the door, and everybody's happy. Great idea. Then the next week, we talked about Debbie Spanvini, who I knew from college at American University. She was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer, given just months to live, but that was 14 years ago. Good news. And I talked to her, and she said, I'm 14 years cancer free, and all I take now is a baby aspirin every day. She said, because I chose that I was going to live and not die. You got to speak good. We talked about that. The next week, we talked about the story of Elisha and the widow woman with 2 sons. Her husband died. She called on the prophet Elijah and said, help me. He said, what do you want me to do? She said, help me. They're coming to take my sons off to slavery because I have a debt to pay. Help me. He said, what do you have in the house? She said, nothing. He said, nothing, nothing. Well, I got a little bit of oil. He said, gather all the pots and pans and jars and containers from everybody in the community, come back in, close the door, and we're going to go to work. They did it. He told them to do. The boys came back in. They closed the door, and the oil started pouring, and they kept filling up containers until there were no more containers. And she said, give me one more container. They said, we don't have any more. And the oil stopped, but they had lots of full containers of oil. And Elisha said, go sell what you have now, pay the debt, and live on the rest. Now, there's a lesson in there. Not only that they were told to use what they had, but also he said, sell, be entrepreneurial, go to work, sell. We got to be entrepreneurs. We got to do in tough times. We've got to use some new skills. Selling is a great skill for everybody. I sold my wife on saying yes to me when she told me, no, I don't want to get married to you because you live with your mama. It's true. I'm telling you the truth. I was living with my mama. I was living in my mama's house. So she said, you know, you've been living with your mama all this time. No, I don't want to do that. But I finally sold her on getting married to me. And that's been 35 years ago. So, hey, got to sell. You got to sell. And then last week, we talked about Captain Tom Moore in England, who was 99 years old and decided to do something for this coronavirus crisis to raise some money. And he said at 99, he was going to walk in his yard back and forth every day until he reached 100 years old. He just wanted to raise 1,000 pounds. He's raised over 3 million pounds for people to use. And they recorded a song about him, and he said a few words in a song called You Never Walk Alone. It became #1 in UK, and I got a story about him today, adding on. They're going to knight him. They want to knight him. Isn't that something at 100 years old? And we talked about David and Goliath and how David was willing to fight Goliath before he even slayed him, to fight him because there was a benefit that was offered from the king. Not just that Goliath was talking junk to the Israelites, but there was a benefit that they said the king will take care of you. He'll enrich you, and he'll give you the hand of his daughter. And David said, what? I get money out of this? They said, yeah, you get enriched. The king will hook up your family. Yeah, he said, where's that big mouth Philistine? I'm going to take care of him. And they tried to give him all of the armor and stuff. He said, no, I got it. Slingshot, smooth stone, I got this. I killed a lion, I killed a bear, I got this. It was a confidence. And we want you to have confidence as you go into this, not confidence to go out around people who are sick, but confidence to think ideas and to attack the Goliaths in your life, your fear, your doubt, your question about what you can do. So you can do this, you can do this, you can overcome this challenge. So today's story is another biblical good news story. It's about the story of Daniel. And we all know Daniel. Everybody heard Daniel in the lion's den. We've heard that since we were children. But there's more to the story. There's a life lesson in this story that I want to make sure you know. Now, here's the story. That Daniel was in the 3rd year of the king Jehoiakim. And Daniel and his friends were among the young Jewish nobility carried off to Babylon. And they had to serve there for King Nebuchadnezzar. And so he was king of Babylon. And they were chosen for their brilliance and their the fact that they were handsome and they were great personalities. Well, they were trained to be in the court of the king. Now, they were all given new names. Now, Daniel's name, I'm not even going to try and Belshazzar, but the other ones you know, which are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, now, those are three Hebrew boys who were in the fiery furnace. Now, here's a story that Daniel continued to worship God. He continued to give God glory. And some people were jealous of him and how he was being favored by the Lord. And they told the king, he won't bow down. The king made a decree. Everybody got to bow down to me. And Daniel said, I'm bowing down to the Lord. I'm giving God the glory. And so they threw him in a lion's den. But the lions' mouths were closed. And the angel came and closed the mouths of the lions and saved Daniel. And his accusers were destroyed. And Daniel was restored to his position. Now, here's the story, though. What's the theme of the story? That's what I wanted to get to. Here's the main thing about this story that I think we sometimes get lost, is that the overall theme of the book of Daniel is this: how God continues to work his plan in our lives, in this earth realm, even when everything seems lost. When things are going bad, God's working a plan. You got to trust him, and you got to stay faithful, and you got to expect good to come out, even the bad. What looks like it's bad, God will turn into good. Just stay faithful, keep moving forward, and be positive. Be excited about the possibilities, because out of the bad can come good. You just got to stay faithful. This week hopefully you listen to my Get Up Mornings with Erica Campbell show every morning on Praise Network, the Wake Up and Win with Willie Jolley feature. It's a 1-minute show, and it comes on every morning at 8:20 Central Time, 8:20 Eastern Time, 7:20 Central Time, across America. So anywhere in America where you get Praise Network with Erica Campbell, just listen to me. This week I've got one coming up, and you can also get this, by the way, on our daily, if you're on my newsletter, which you can get on my newsletter at williejolly.com. But my daily newsletter, I've been sending out messages. I am amazed at the responses from people around the country who have said, I love these 1-minute messages. They encourage me every day. This is just right on. Well, one of the messages I shared this week coming up, and we'll be on the radio show as well, the story about the stockbroker who was a stockbroker who was in the midst of the Wall Street crash and crush and stress. He grew up in church, but over time, he started hanging out with his friends. They started drinking and drugging and all sorts of things. And his faith fell off. Well, in the midst of the stress of Wall Street, he got overwhelmed and almost had a nervous breakdown. He went to see the doctor. The doctor said, you need to get away for a few weeks and rest, or you're going to have a nervous breakdown and you're going to be done. A friend loaned him a cabin up in the woods, and he went up to this cabin, and beautiful scenery, and he got there the latter part of the day, but while it was still sunshine, but there was something about the set, and he looked at all of the beautiful surroundings, went on into the cabin. He was so tired, so worn out. He took off his shoes, sat on the side of the bed. By the time his head hit the pillow, he was asleep, and he was able to just fall deep asleep, and finally got his feet up on the bed, and he was out. A few hours into the middle of the night, a voice came to him, and it looked like there were 1,000 sunshines in that room. It was so bright, and the voice said, push the rock. He said, what? Push the rock. The rock. Push the rock. It's outside. Push the rock. What rock he talked about? What is that voice? And he ran to the door, opened the door, and there was a big boulder out on the lawn. Hadn't been there when he came in. He didn't see a big boulder. He would have recognized and saw a big boulder, but there was a big boulder there. Well, that next morning, he started pushing the rock. He pushed it all that day, but it didn't move. He pushed the rock the next day. It didn't move. And the next day, it didn't move. He kept pushing the rock the first week, second week, third week. Going into a month, he's pushing the rock every day. It didn't move. Finally, in complete despair, he cried out, I've failed. I failed. I failed. I failed. I tried to push the rock and move the rock. but it did not move. And the voice said, I told you to push the rock. I didn't tell you to move the rock. Your job was to push the rock. My job is to move the rock. He said, but look at your arms and your muscles, and look at your back and your legs. Look at your stress level, how it has gone down by being focused on a job. And look at your faith, that you trusted me, that something good could come out of the bad situation you're in. Go back to Wall Street with a new faith and let them know it is I who do the work through you. Oh, by the way, look, and the rock was gone. Wow. Folks, he went back with a new man who discovered that faith and action can make a world of difference in your life. And so I just want to encourage you. It's time for good news. Speak some good news to somebody today. Tell somebody you know that this is a time for good news. It's jolly good news time. And tell somebody something good. Speak to somebody. Do something nice for somebody. Encourage somebody. Share a positive word. Send a little love to somebody. Next week, I'm going to come back. I got some more good news for you about some stories of some elders. One lady, 107 years old, who beat, not only did she beat Spanish flu over 100 years ago, but she beat coronavirus now. And she tells how she did it. It's phenomenal. It's a great story. I got to go. Our time is short. So I want to thank you for sharing your time with me here on the Jolly Good News Report. Do me a favor. Would you tell Lottie about it? Tell Dottie about it. Tell everybody about it. That Dr. Willie Jolley has now started a new program on this network, on this place. Tell them where to come. And that he's giving you nothing but good news. No bad news. You don't get no bad news here. Nothing but good news to encourage you, to inspire you, to uplift you, empower you, and to let you know that it's true, that your best is still yet to come. I say that at the end of my XM show, and I say it to you now. Your best is still yet to come. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. And I love you. And there's nothing you can do about it. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month, a great year on purpose. And remember, God still got his hand on you to do some good things. God bless you. Bye-bye.